My name is Cornu. I'm very pleased to be here because these are trade union hustings, and there's an opportunity here to address the labour movement directly, and I think my politics are definitely for the labour movement. So let's start with some points of clarification. We've got two establishment candidates here. The first one is Patrick Ryan, who's been well honed by the OZIF machine and will tell you everything is upbeat and wonderful. The second establishment candidate is Francis de Grey, who's a little less upbeat, but will still tell you he's in the centre. If elected, both will join and vote with OZIF, of course, and the OZIF government, and they will join and implement the austerity programme of cuts and job losses. So I would suggest you don't vote for them if you want to keep your job. There are three progressive candidates on the platform, all competing for your single vote, and they're Stuart Sibre, Jeff Sutton and myself. If there were a united progressive bloc, we would be acting together. Instead, there is disunity and we are in competition. In the meantime, I have to convince you why I am deserving of your vote. Ironically, I have all the qualities to be an excellent establishment candidate. I'm a Jerseyman. I was educated at Victoria College, and remember the States of Jersey is just a old Victorians club. It is the best club, gentlemen's club in town. I'm a solicitor by profession. I work in finance, but I'm not an establishment candidate because, well, I'm not a multi-millionaire, and because blazoned on my banner is something called social justice, and that's what's important to me. I'm a campaigner, and I've been campaigning for over 20 years. When I came back to Jersey in '93, I got involved with the pro-choice movement, campaigning for women's rights. And discrimination in this island is still in existence. We don't have anti-discriminatory legislation, and the government doesn't seem to be very bothered about bringing it forward rapidly. In 2008, I helped to organise a rally under the banner of Time for Change to protest against the child abuse. And out of that grew the organisation Time for Change, so that we could campaign on social justice and political reform. And early last year I was campaigning for Woolworths workers to win redundancy monies from their bankrupt employers. In fact, I was acting a bit like a good trade unionist should do, because there weren't very many trade unionists in sight. The issue of Woolworths' hidden assets in Jersey has still not been resolved and not been made public. It's the financing behind it that's really interesting. They've definitely been playing offshore games. But I would say the real election is not this election on the 16th. It's the October election next year. Because then we'll have an opportunity to try and change the government. And hopefully there will be a new progressive bloc fielding a slate of candidates, because that's the only way we're going to get change. We need to build a popular movement that represents the social and economic interests of working people in the island. If we can build a popular movement, we can create a government of the working people for all the working people. What Jersey needs is an effective opposition in the States, one that is not easily stereotyped, politicians who are team players, who are capable of working with civil society organisations like trade unions, and are prepared to build alliances with other progressives inside the States. And the labour movement will be central to that process of creating a new political organisation. But the key issue in this election is the austerity programme and cuts about to be introduced by the OZIF government. The austerity programme has started with a pay freeze. We've got cuts coming up. It's going to cut jobs, it's going to cut pensions, it's going to cut benefits, there's going to be cuts to university fees and grants, and there's going to be an increase in GST, generally all around lower standards of living and growing social inequality. The cause of this is the 0-10 tax policy, which has failed fundamentally. And instead of raising taxes on corporations, they want to tax low and middle income earners. So what Jersey's government is revealed as is a government of the rich, for the rich. So I'd say fight the job cuts, no job losses, defend trade unions, introduce progressive taxation on personal income and corporate profits, and scrap GST. And the teachers' union, of course, is leading the way in that fight back. So resistance can be effective, provided we're organised, and there are alternatives. So I'd say to you, vote for me to send a strong message to the establishment that, as they say in Italian, ya basta, enough is enough.